I've told you guys before that I enjoy the Frank Isola, Brian Scalabrine, the starting lineup show, the basketball show they do. And on the way in, I heard them talking, and Isola is quoting a report that says the Knicks are going to interview Don Staley as head coaching candidate. And Scalabrine's response was, I try to avoid these topics. And then they moved on.
What?
And I'm like, that doesn't hurt Scalabrine. He's better off. You know what his theory was on this? He's like, I'm just going to say why not. Instead of addressing whether or not the Knicks would hire a coach and put a pressure on a coach who has never coached an NBA game before.
She's a woman?
That the answer to why not?
Is that a pro or a con?
Most people would answer that. Most sports fans, most Knicks fans would say that's where you start with why not.
I would love to see that. I really would. And if I really would.
Did Isola, was that his rebuttal?
No, they moved on. They moved on because they didn't want to do. I mean, I just thought it was so funny that Scalabrine considers that a controversial topic. The fact that in 2025,
like a woman exists.
I tried to avoid these topics. I'm like, what topics? Who's going to coach the Knicks?
I don't know. I don't think the group chat got what I was doing there. This is why I try to avoid these topics.
Are we talking about undeserving statue recipient Don Staley? Right, Greg? Isn't that what you said?
Let's not do this.
Yeah,
Would she be deserving of the statue if she moved on to the Knicks?
Absolutely, yeah, because she would be groundbreaking. Look, when I first heard this...
All right, here we go.
Oh, no.
No.
Let's hear it, Mo.
My immediate reaction was cynicism. Like, the New York Knicks win this because they come off as revolutionary and trend-setting. It could be a publicity stunt. Like, we don't know how serious they are, but they win just for the effort. But then again, you look at Don Staley, despite not deserving a statue yet in her career, what female basketball coach is more qualified to break this ceiling than Don Staley? I can't think of any.
Brian Windhorst is on Get Up saying that the reason that the Knicks were on Kevin Durant's preferred list and they said thanks but no thanks to Kevin Durant is because Giannis Antetokounmpo is obviously the Knicks' main target, and according to Wendy, they didn't pursue Kevin Durant because of the possibility that Giannis would be available. Again, I would say I would love to see it.
Just like the Heat.
I would love to see Giannis end up in New York coached by Don Staley. Give her a loaded team. Give her a team that's a step away, and then see if she could be better than Thibodeau when you didn't know what you were doing with your coaching search. And now you end up in a spot where Don Staley is among the biggest names you can get. If it's not going to be, what is it, Mike Brown?
I'm listening.
Let's try that again.
I
don't think he's had enough opportunities.
It would be inspired. It would be inspired. It would be inspired as something that is groundbreaking from an organization that had Isaiah Thomas swept out in sexual harassment, to give over, to not know what you're doing after Thibodeau in a way that reveals to everybody, oh, you didn't actually have a plan with your coaching search, and then end up on a candidate that would legitimately bring something to tabloid city that would be the biggest, most famous, splashiest thing you could possibly do if you're the New York Knicks.
Can it be groundbreaking if by reports it's like your ninth option for all the people they tried to interview?
Yeah. Do you find inspiration after failing 9 times? Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yes.
It still would be groundbreaking. And also,
She was our 10th option. We got 9 no's, so here we are.
Can you imagine being met with brava, inspired after failing 9 times?
I think the Knicks would still get credit for the hire. And you know what? James Dolan, with that hire, would go a long way to refiguring his entire negative image into a positive.
Nope.
I think so.
Nope.
No, I think this move would get crushed. Really? By the fan base? Yeah, I think it would get
I wasn't
crushed.
even doing that. I'm saying there is no move that Dolan can make.
The
that
sphere, I
erases
mean.
all the Dolan.
The Sphere? People are looking at Jimmy Dolan. Ooh, look at this
If
guy.
ever a move you can make to transform your image, it's making history with a hire such as this.
I don't think we're there. We weren't there a couple of years ago, and wherever we were a couple of years ago, we're further away from now. I just think it'd get crapped on by that fan base.
I don't know what that fan base wants because it's not available. So whatever's going to be better than Thibodeau isn't something that is going to appear in any form. There's no place from which, I mean, if Jason Kidd is in play, I don't know if that makes everybody enthusiastic, but they're stuck in a situation where they're unlikely to do anyone who brings any more enthusiasm than Thibodeau, and now they're testing themselves against the idea that Thibodeau is somehow addition by subtraction.
Look, I know that this is going to sound shocking, and please keep in mind I'm speaking to a relative fan base, right? I think they want a dude.
Okay.
I think they'd want a dude.
I'm glad we talked this through.
Okay, fool them. Maybe Dawn can spell her name D-O-N,
Yeah.
and then they'll be fooled.
Who's this Donald Staley?
Right.
A new dawn is the tabloid headline.